Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in for Week 11 power rankings. Now, this was a bit of a crazy Week 10 as far as some of the games that we had, and it's time to give my thoughts and the power rankings on these teams heading into Week 11. But I don't want to make this intro long, so make sure you guys leave this video a like to continue to help this channel to grow and to beast the algorithm. Make sure you click the subscribe button, notification bell. And I am trying to get a 6K before the end of 2025, and we're starting to roll on our way there, about 150 away. So help me please get to this goal. But without further ado, let's dive into it. All right, guys, these are my rankings from last week, and things are 1,000% going to change. So let's just dive right into it. Now, my motto, you guys know, if you don't play, you don't move. So the Cincinnati Bengals had a bye week, and I had them at D. The Dallas Cowboys had a bad week, and I keep them at C. The Kansas City Chiefs had a bye week, and I had them at A. And the Tennessee Titans had a bye week, and I had them at a D as well. So let's just get right to these. As the Denver Broncos faced off against the Las Vegas Raiders, they've been winning, and at this point they have the best record in football at this point closely. So I had them at S, but boy, this football team, to me, it's been a fraudulent 8-2. And I'm not going to say they're not a good football team, but the way things have been looking offensively, they have not been looking well offensively. Bo Nix has not played the greatest of football in the last few weeks, and especially this past week against the Vegas Raiders. That defense they've been kind of carrying a bit, and they still are without Patrick Surtain, so they're not at their full strength, I believe, at this point. But that offense, it leaves a lot of questions to be answered at points, and definitely these last couple of weeks. And then the Raiders, I'm moving the Raiders down to a D. I'm at one at Geno Smith. They are probably going to be looking for a quarterback at this point in the offseason. Their running game has not been what I thought. Their defense has been playing actually not bad football, just that offense just cannot do anything successfully as far as being consistent. So I'm going to keep them in a D. Next, we have the Colts and the Falcons. I have the Colts at S. Jonathan Taylor is one of the front runners for MVP at this point. And I don't care that this is a quarterback award. He has been playing some good football. I'm waiting for them to get Sauce acclimated. That was his first game. He got to the team a little late. At defense, I still like what they are. Offensively, Daniel Jones played a lot better this week than he did last week against the Steelers. So I believe in this Colts team. I really do. And then the Falcons, I had them at C. I'm actually going to keep them there. I'm not moving them. They did play a lot better than what I even had thought. And I'll say this about Michael Penix Jr. I like him. I think he has potential to be a good quarterback. But one thing I've noticed, and I've seen this last week, and I've seen this a couple of weeks, it's something about his throws. They end up underthrown or low. I've seen that a lot about Michael Penix Jr. A lot of his throws are underthrown or low. Maybe that's just me seeing things. My brother's a Falcons fan. He actually said he notices the same thing, so maybe it's not just me, and I want you guys to have a thought on that. But something about Michael Penix Jr., his throws are a little low. And is Raheem Morris in the hot seat? I thought this team was going to be a lot better than where they sit right now at 3-6. Is he in the hot seat? Maybe. Then we're going to have the Saints and the Carolina Panthers. I'm moving the Panthers down from a B to a C, and from the New Orleans Saints, I'm still keeping them at D despite them beating the Panthers. And I thought this Panthers team was finally starting to get things going. They're finally starting to turn some stuff around, especially with that win against the Packers last week. Just didn't happen this week, and this is a parody league where anything has been happening, and it has happened. And the Saints, Tyler Shaw pushed the ball down the field. Got some of his weapons involved. Saints played a really solid football game. It's probably the best game they've played all season, if we're going to be honest. But from the Panthers standpoint, I just thought he didn't show up. Offensively, didn't show up. Next is the Chicago Bears versus the the New York Giants. Crazy to think. I'm putting this Bears team in A. Yes, they have some defensive lapses, and I think a lot of that is due to injury. C.J. Gardner-Johnson came in to play some really good football. Caleb Williams played a lot better down the stretch, and I think he would have looked better if it wasn't for a lot of those drops. They ran the football very well. It's just that run defense for the Bears just leave me something to be questioned. And this is a team that is 6-3, and I, as a Bears fan, didn't have this team at 6-3 at all. And then the Giants, another lost game, moved them down to a D. Brian Dable is now actually fired. I'm surprised they didn't fire the GM too. Jackson Dart is in a concussion protocol. I didn't realize there's been 4 times this year. That defense, with all the talent that they have up front, should not be the worst run defense in the league. Should not be one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. Shouldn't be. And Jackson Dart, I love what I'm seeing from Jackson Dart. It's just they have injuries as far as their skill positions, and now Jackson Dart is dealing with his own injury, and they can't close. So Giants are moving down to a D. Next is the Jaguars versus the Houston Texans. I'm moving the Jaguars down to a C. And I'm moving the Texans up, but oddly enough, even though the Jaguars have a better record, I think that the Jaguars start, and the Jaguars really peaked, and I'm still believing this. They peaked at that Chiefs victory a few weeks back. They had the lead and absolutely blew it, 26 unanswered points by the Texans, without C.J. Stroud. That defense for the Texans, it got them back in it. That offense, they started to get some rhythm a little bit with Davis Mills. And Jacksonville, Jesus, I just really think their team has peaked. They peaked too early with that Chiefs victory. I'm still going by that hill. Next is the Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins. I'm moving the Bills down. Their run defense is bad. They have been inconsistent. Josh Allen hero ball doesn't work this year because I think the skill positions need some work, especially the wide receiver position. I'm still kind of flabbergasted that they didn't go get a number 1 wide receiver, and I think it's starting to hurt them because not really anybody is creating some separations, and you can't always rely on tight ends on longer third downs. The Dolphins, I might actually move the Dolphins up to a C. That game was a really good test of what they could be when things are clicking. They run the football very well. Tua didn't have the greatest of games, but they ran the hell out of the football on this Buffalo Bills defense. And I still think Mike McDaniel is probably going to end up out at some point, but moving them up. Next is the Baltimore Ravens versus the Minnesota Vikings. I have the Ravens at B. Call me crazy. I'm moving the Ravens up to an A. I think their defense is starting to click on cylinders and they're getting guys back healthy. Lamar, insulted back to this lineup, has been tremendous for this football team. And I'll talk about the Steelers later, but they are doing a good job of really getting things back together when other teams didn't do what they necessarily needed to do to keep the Ravens back. And we're talking about the Vikings. I want to move the Vikings so bad, but I'm going to keep them at B. I still think this is a really solid Vikings football team, but I think offensively they're starting to have a bit of a rhythm struggle. J.J. McCarthy, I always believe out of the quarterbacks in this draft class, I thought he was at the bottom anyway. But I'm not saying that he's a bad football player, not just because he went to that school up north either, but it's just he's been hurt and he hasn't had time to really develop and really play those football games, and it's starting to show, in my opinion. That defense is, I always said, is on the older side of things, and it's not getting the production that they kind of need from a guys like a Dallas Turner in their defense. So I'm keeping them at B, but this week is the real tell of how this Vikings team is going to be. Yo, what's up, guys? APW Sports here, and today's video is being brought to you by ExpressVPN. Now, there's a few things I really like about having ExpressVPN. One, I feel protected. Being on the internet a lot as a content creator, or being on the internet period, especially in the 2025 modern era, you're gonna need protections from hackers, you're gonna need protections from your passwords, you're gonna need protections from your vital credit card, vital personal information. ExpressVPN does an excellent job of protecting you. And also, if things happen to slip or if things have been exposed before, you will get alerts to your phone that will let you know that things have been exposed to the dark web and that you should take action. And then another thing that I really like about it is that you can unlock more of Netflix. Now, me personally, if you guys don't know, I am a big WWE fan. And since the WWE has a partnership with Netflix in the international areas, you can get your PLEs, you can get your Raw, SmackDown, NXT, all things WWE on Netflix. Best thing to do, switch your location to say a Canada, to say a United Kingdom, and bam, there you go. You have all your access to your WWE content, and it unlocks more things that necessarily United States does not carry. And that is another thing that I really love about ExpressVPN. So to get yours today and get 3 months free, click the link below and use code APW Sports at checkout to get 3 months free of ExpressVPN. You will not regret that at all. Best investment you will ever make. Protect yourself and unlock more television on Netflix to watch. Now, we're gonna get back to this video. Next is gonna be the Cleveland Browns versus the New York Jets. Both teams are a D. Special teams for the Jets really carried them. Offensively, things still look off from the Cleveland Browns team. And that is really what's been killing them. And I think if they had better quarterback play, this would be a much better team record-wise. Really believe so. And then the Jets are just the damn Jets. Offensively, they still struggle. Defensively, they lost a lot, but man, two very bad football teams. And I said coming into that game, this could be potential number one overall pick status. Still, man. Next is the New England Patriots versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm keeping the Patriots at ass. Tampa's hard, but I'm keeping the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at ass. Still two very good football teams. Oddly enough, the Bucs have been dealing with injuries. But when the way they ran the football with my boy Travion Henderson for The Ohio State University, Drake May is playing MVP level football. Stephon Diggs, been a wonderful find for them. And this defense, man, they are playing some really tough, hard-nosed football. Mike Vrabel, I think at this point, possibly coach of the year. The way he's got this football team going, Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator, the way he's got Drake May playing, this is a scary Patriots team. Yes, the Patriots are back. Patriots are back. Baker Mayfield, I still like what he's doing with Tampa, but I just think some of the injuries on their offensive side of the ball has really been hurting them. Without Bucky Irvin, Mike Evans is done for the year. Next, we are going to have the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks. I personally believe the Seahawks are the best team in the NFC. Yes, I'm saying it. The way that they play defense, stout, tough, ferocious defense, 2 touchdowns by DeMarcus Lawrence. Offensively, they didn't have to throw the ball so much, and they still dominated. Well, I get a defense of that. But offensively, they ran the ball. Jackson Smith-Njigba from The Ohio State University is having an Offensive Player of the Year type of season. Man, this Seahawks team is dangerous. This Seahawks team is dangerous. I still believe, and I don't care what the people are going to say, I think the Seahawks are the best team in the NFC right now, the way that they are playing football. I don't care what anybody else is going to say. Seahawks the best team in the NFC. And then the Cardinals, on the other hand, I can't put the Cardinals at to a D yet. I can't put the Cardinals damn low. We know their defense, they didn't really play that bad of a game. It's just offensively, and that's always been my struggles with them. That even with the guy like a Jacoby Brissett, or it's just been a struggle for him. James Conner being out is starting to show. The running game hasn't been the best, and this Cardinals team is just so much of a disappointment. And I ain't saying they're supposed to be great or anything. I thought they would have been better than this. Next is the LA Rams versus San Francisco 49ers. I'm keeping them. This is tough. This is tough. For now, I'm keeping the Rams at A. But damn, I really believe in what they can do. I believe in Stafford playing at MVP level, at defense is young and getting after guys. I believe in this damn Rams team a lot. I just have the Seahawks above them because I just think they're playing the best. But the 49ers, I'm dropping them to a B. I'm not saying that this is a bad team. It's just, I think at that wide receiver position, at least in my opinion, they could use a little bit more. The injuries, I think, are starting to show up on the defensive side of the ball. They really are. The way that this team has been hampered by injuries, I figured at some point it was going to show up, and I think it's starting to do so for the Niners. So I'm dropping them to a B. Next is the Detroit Lions versus the Washington Commanders. I don't want too many teams to S, but I'm really believing in this Lions team. I've never won a devour from this Lions team, and Dan Campbell taking over play calling has really helped. You got Gibbs back involved. You got Jameson Williams back involved in this offense. Defensively, they're playing well. Watch the Commanders at C. Injuries are taking their toll. Jaden Daniels injuries, defensive injuries, Marshawn Lattimore injuries, and then Deron Payne. Now he's going to be out next week with the punch to Amon St. Brown. I hate that this team is slipping, but I called it earlier in the season. I felt that this Washington Commanders football team, I'm not going to say that last season was a fluke, but I had a real feeling that, and that's always been like this with me with Cliff Kingsbury, teams were going to start to figure out how they use the weapons in their offense. And the injuries don't help either. But I just felt that they was going to take a step back. And I hate to be right on this. I hate it. Because I actually like the Commanders football team as it is. I just didn't think they were going to be able to play that well consistently in the start of the show. Next is the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Los Angeles Chargers. I want to move the Chargers to S, but I'm not quite there yet on this football team because the offensive line, it has been hampered by injuries. They have been dealing with that, but I just think this football team is very physical. It's still very stout, and they still fight the Jim Harbaugh type of mentality. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm keeping them at B. Defensively, they didn't get out there to Herbert the way that I thought that they would. And offensively, they are devoid of weapons. They are devoid of weapons. Jaylon Warren, I like him at the running back position, but I just think they could have used another receiver or two, and they should have never traded George Pickens because they need that type of a weapon out there, opposite of DK Metcalf, because once DK is bottled up, they don't have much around them outside of the tight end position. And I think not having the receiving weapons that they need is the reason why they have so many heavy tight end packages, because their wide receivers are not trusted to be open, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers starts to trust them. But last but not least, the Packers and the Eagles. I am putting the Packers at B. And I'm not saying this as a Bears fan, but I'm saying this because this Packers team has shown to be inconsistent on the offensive side of the ball. Look at their 3 losses. 7 points, 10 points, 13 points. They have not been a consistent offense. Jordan Love has not played well these last couple of weeks. Their defense has been keeping them in the ball game, but offensively, Jordan Love is starting to fall into that mistake playing football that he has a tendency to fall back into. That defense has been keeping them alive, especially these last 2 weeks. Defense has been keeping them in the games. It's just this offense is a bit too inconsistent for me to believe in this Packers team right now. They had that 1 week against the Steelers where they were basically unbeatable, or they looked like, oh yeah, this could be it. These last 2 weeks on the offensive side of the ball, and I'm only speaking offense because their defense has been playing well, stout against the run. This Packers team is just so inconsistent offensively, and it's hard for me to believe in them when Jordan Love has been inconsistent. And the Eagles, they are inconsistent offensively as well. But they're just finding ways to win football games. They are still finding ways to win football games, but passing game has been kind of hit or miss. The run game, well, I didn't think it was going to be out to an explosive run game anyway because of how good the Green Bay Packers are against the run, but They just find ways to win football game, and that defense plays some unbelievable football in Monday night. They really play some unbelievable football. So I'm moving the Packers down, but I'm keeping the Eagles at S for the moment. But that's all I have. These are my rankings for this week, and I know you guys are probably gonna have something to say, especially about teams moving up and down. I don't care. These are my rankings. They're like Stephen A says, this is fluid. The list is fluid. But I am APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys leave this video a like, comment your thoughts, share, subscribe to the channel. Goal 6K subs before the end of 2025. And I hope you guys have a great next day. And I will catch you guys later. Peace.